Depending on the restaurant, servers may have the opportunity to take each guest's order up to 3 times over the course of a meal. Once for the drink, once for the meal, and sometimes a 3rd time for dessert. Multiply this process by the number of guests a server sees during a shift and, well, that's a lot of orders. In this course, you will learn how to efficiently and effectively transfer the customer's words to the kitchen team. First, you have to know when guests are ready to order. This is trickier than it sounds. Give guests too long to look over the menu, and they'll be annoyed at having to wait. Come back too quickly, however, and you risk making them feel rushed. The best way to gauge readiness is to observe the table. Are menus closed? Maybe even placed in a stack at the edge of the table? Are guests sitting expectantly, possibly glancing around the restaurant as though looking for you? These are signs that the guests are ready to order. On the other hand, are all eyes glued to the menus in front of them? Are guests actively paging through the menu? They obviously need more time. Then, there are times when there's no clear signal. Perhaps the menus are open in front of customers, but they're all talking to each other. Have they decided what they want? Or have they been too distracted by the lively conversation? It's hard to say. When this happens, don't wait for a signal. Go back and check. As a general rule, if the guests are giving a clear signal of being ready to order, or 5 minutes or more have passed, it's time for step 2, approaching the table. Walk up to the table with a smile. If guests are speaking, wait a moment for them to notice your presence. If the conversation continues, politely say, "Excuse me," then simply ask, "Are you ready to order?" If guests aren't ready, ask, "Do you have any questions about the menu?" This will give guests an opportunity to ask for recommendations and you to demonstrate your expertise. If time is all they need, however, respect that. Say, "No problem, I'll give you a little more time." Move on to another table and revisit them in no more than 5 minutes. If guests are ready to order, it's time to break out the notepad and pen. Many new servers are tempted to impress guests with their memory skills by taking orders without writing anything down. Don't do this. For one thing, it makes many guests nervous, especially if they have special requests. For another, all it takes is one lapse in memory to mess up a guest's meal and make you look silly. With your notepad at the ready, ask the table, "Who would like to start?" Many etiquette guides recommend starting with ladies, then children, and then men. However, many people are not aware of this rule. Some might find it old-fashioned or even offensive. Unless your restaurant policy dictates otherwise, to avoid offense, it's best to ask the table for their preference. It's helpful to number the guests as you take their order. On your notepad, write the number 1. This indicates the first person to order. Once they've finished making their order, proceed clockwise around the table. The person to their left will be 2, then 3, and so on. When it's time to deliver their food, this method will help you remember who ordered which food. Write clearly and legibly. Writing things down is only useful if you and the kitchen staff can read it afterwards. Use abbreviations to maximize efficiency. Writing DOS instead of dressing on the side, for example, saves a significant amount of time. Your restaurant likely has a shorthand system already in place. Know what comes with each dish. Guests will often order an entree and then forget to specify the sides they'd like to go with it. A thorough understanding of the menu will help you prompt guests and receive a complete order. For example, if a guest orders a cheeseburger, you might ask, "How would you like that cooked? What type of cheese would you prefer? Would you like the standard dressing of lettuce, tomato, and pickle?" After you've taken everyone's order, repeat it back to the table. Okay, so I've got the Cajun pasta, a cheeseburger medium well with American cheese and everything on it, chicken tenders with honey mustard, and a kid's grilled cheese with applesauce. Did I get everything? Once you've got the order right, it's time to deliver it to the kitchen. You do this by physically handing over your paper notes or by entering the guest orders into the POS system. Once you do this, the process of taking guest orders is complete. Obviously, getting orders right is extremely important. It can be nerve-wracking, particularly when you're faced with taking orders from a large table or an extremely particular guest. Try not to be too nervous. Your system of writing down and repeating back customers' orders is intended to catch mistakes before they reach the kitchen, or even worse, the table. In no time at all, you'll be taking orders like a pro.